In January 2026, the World Economic Forum in Davos was meant to be a stage for cooperation, but instead it became the symbol of a shifting global system. A rules-based order once upheld by consensus now looks like it's giving way to raw influence and transactional power. Well, today we're unpacking why Davos 2026 feels like the end of the old world order, what Trump's new Board of Peace really is, and how powerful states now act by strength rather than principle, and why that matters for the rest of us. At Davos 2026, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered a striking message. The old rules-based global order isn't coming back.
It seems that every day we're reminded that we live in an era of great power rivalry, that the rules-based order is fading, that the strong can do what they can and the weak must suffer what they must. And this aphorism of Thucydides is presented as inevitable, as the natural logic of international relations reasserting itself. And faced with this logic, there is a strong tendency for countries to go along to get along, to accommodate, to avoid trouble, to hope that compliance will buy safety. Well, it won't.
He argued that power dynamics have overtaken norms and middle powers must cluster together to avoid being sidelined. This wasn't just political rhetoric, it reflected a deeper reality in global diplomacy, where traditional institutions like the UN or the World Trade Organization appear weakened as great powers selectively follow rules or ignore them altogether. Analysts now describe this moment as a rupture, not a crisis. On January 22nd, President Trump launched what he calls a Board of Peace at Davos. A new international body, he says, will help stabilize conflict zones, starting with Gaza.
Donald Trump's Board of Peace aims to be a panacea for the world, an answer to conflict and wars. It is a global ambition, one that was born out of a desire to bring peace to Gaza and to expand America's influence.
We're going to be very successful in Gaza. It's going to be a great thing to watch, and we can do other things. We can do numerous other things. Once this board is completely formed, we can do pretty much whatever we want to do, and we'll do it in conjunction with the United Nations, you know?
Congratulations, President Trump.
But behind the hopeful language, critics say this Peace Council is less about peace and more about power politics. Reporting from The Guardian suggests it functions more like an imperial court than a multilateral body and could even rival the United Nations. Al Jazeera's analysis adds that the council appears to put rights-abusing governments in charge of global governance, replacing norms with pay-to-play membership structures. And key US allies, from Norway to France, have publicly refused to join, wary that it undermines existing institutions. For decades, the narrative was clear. The US and allies stood for democratic values. Countering authoritarian bad guys, today that frame is collapsing. Who'd have thunk it? From controversial US military actions, like recent confrontations with Venezuela's leadership, to Trump's provocative claim over Greenland, powerful states are acting unilaterally and unapologetically. This isn't just perception. At Davos, many leaders openly argued that there's no longer a neat moral hierarchy in world affairs. Only strong states that leverage power and weaker ones that respond. If power trumps principles, international diplomacy could become more volatile and unpredictable. Smaller nations may be coerced economically or militarily. Multilateral frameworks could lose legitimacy as states pursue narrow interests over collective good. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. We're interested to know what you think about all of this. We do read the comments. And give this video a like, it helps. Share with family and friends. Subscribe if you haven't. And thanks for watching. This was ENDtv.